Do that. And what's the
Oh,
argument that I have
wait.
to
I
do that?
didn't say you have to do it. I told you what I'm going to do and what I would
Okay,
like you
great.
to do. Now, I never said you have an
Okay,
obligation to
great.
do it. I'm asking if that's okay. Now, you can say yes or you can say no. And if you say no, then you're a dodger and you're a bitch. So yeah, go ahead and answer.
Yeah, great. So what's the argument that I am a dodger or a bitch if I say no?
Well, with
Yeah,
respect to my semantics of dodging, all I'm taking dodging to be is just not partaking in a debate out of fear for losing the debate. And I think that your motivation behind not accepting an argument would be that you would probably, be scared.
Okay, great. So give me the argument that you know my mental states such that you're saying that I am dodging because I'm scared. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not saying that it is the case that you're dodging because you're scared. I'm saying that being scared and dodging a debate are things in which go hand in hand. Now, if you're scared to debate someone, then this raises the probability of you dodging the debate. Do you agree?
Okay, great. So is it necessarily true that if I don't want to answer your questions, that means that I'm scared?
It's not necessarily true, idiot. It's just true.
Okay, great. So then it's not the case, right? So great.
That doesn't track. Necessarily just means in all possible worlds, idiot.
And
Yeah,
so you
I
said,
never
look,
said it's a
you said,
necessity.
look. So is it the case now that you're backtracking because you said that if I don't answer the questions, then it means that I am dodging because I'm scared. Now you just said
Say
it's not
it's
necessarily the
necessarily.
case. Now you said it's not necessarily the case. So it could be the case that I'm dodging you, or that I'm refusing to answer your
Say it
questions
without
because I'm
stuttering.
not dodging you or scared, right?
Say it without stuttering. Try again.
Is that a yes or no? Is that a yes or no?
Yeah. Okay, so that's a
Is
no,
that a
and
yes
I'll
or no?
explain why. That's a no, and I'll
Okay,
explain
great. Go
why.
ahead.
So
Go
basically,
ahead.
originally, I affirmed that, dodging and fear could go hand in hand. Now, I didn't say that it is necessarily the case, rather that it is the case. And so to say something is necessarily the case is just to say that it's the case in all possible worlds, and I never made that claim. Now, do you want an argument, or are you going to dodge like a low tier?
Great. So great. So then could it be the case that if I do not answer your questions, it's not because I'm scared, it's just other reasons?
Well, I think I could just make a no-CM inference on the other reasons, and then just.
Sorry, that's a yes or no.
Well, you're asking me a binary question. Could you have other reasons? The answer to that would be yes.
Okay, great. So that I'll take that as a concession. Thank you.
That's
You're
not a
running. That's running.
concession at
What the
all.
fuck? That's obvious running. What? So you find like
Uh,
a
Wait,
little
wait,
meta.
CH, hold on, CH. Wait, I never made a
CH,
claim. I never made a claim that there is no other possible reasons as to why you're dodging. Rather, just
no.
that you are dodging.
All right. The claim that you made was that if I don't answer your questions, then it's because I am dodging and I am afraid to have the debate. You just conceded there are other possible reasons. So could it be the case that
No, I
if
didn't
don't
say
answer
that.
your
That's a
question,
straw man.
I'm sorry. We could roll back the tape and I could show you exactly what you said. But you did say I'm going to take it under my semantics that if you do not answer the question, then you're dodging because of fear and you're a little bitch, right? But
That's
now I
also
just
not
had
what
you
I said.
concede, and now I just had you concede that there are alternative reasons why I could not be answering your questions. Correct?
Okay, yeah. So I would like to not be muted while I respond to your.
Okay. Yeah means that's a
Can I not be
concession.
muted while I respond to your idiotic statement? Great. So I
Well,
would like to not be
I'm
muted. Yo,
not
can you
answering.
turn off your phone? Your
Is
background is
bro
like
in the
horrible.
office right
This shit
now?
is horrible.
Yeah.
Look. Okay. So
I'm
go ahead and
working.
mute up. Go ahead and mute up for Papa real quick so I can respond. So
No, I don't have to do
initially
shit.
on this.
I don't
Okay.
have to
So
do shit.
are you gonna let me respond?
Yeah, go for it. Nobody's stopping you.
Great. So, on the onset of the dialectic, all I said was that I'm making an inference that you're probably dodging. And why I said you're probably dodging is because you're scared of me. Now, if you are scared of me, or if you're not scared of
I'm sorry.
You
That's
said
line
you
number
didn't
one.
interrupt me.
Look, that's
You said you
that's
wouldn't
line number
interrupt.
one.
You said you
I'm
didn't
stopping
interrupt.
you. I'm stopping you. Yeah, I'm stopping you to correct you because you did not use the word probably. You never used the word probably, so you're lying now.
Wait, did I
Now
make an
you're lying. So
absolutist claim?
backtrack.
You also didn't
No,
use the
no.
word inference.
Exactly.
Wait, what do you think an
never said-
inference is?
You never said, look, is it the case that when you initially made the statement, you did not say it's probably the case that you're not answering because you're dodging and you're afraid or you're a little bitch or something? You did not say probably. Is that correct?
Wait, I'm saying that I think, you are dodging.
I'm sorry.
Even if I make
that's
the
a
claim,
yes or
hold
no.
on.
I'm sorry.
He's
That's a yes or
muting.
no.
He's
Did you-
trigger happy.
I'm sorry.
He's trigger
Did you
happy.
say
This is so
probably?
bad. You're getting.
I'm sorry. Did
Fuck
you
out.
say
You can't
probably?
even stop.
I'm sorry. Look,
The
you're
low tier
dodging
can't stop
now.
muting.
Look, oh my gosh, look.
We
did you
cannot
say
stop. This is
funny.
really bad. This is really bad. So
Did you
are
say
you going to stop?
probably? Did you say probably? Did you say probably? That's a yes or no.
Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, I said it like 8 times and you didn't track. God, you're such a low tier.
Sorry, someone was talking to me. Just repeat the fucking question.
Look, tell your mom that you're on your phone. To
Is this
give
the
you 5 more
question?
You'll come
minutes
to
before you
dinner
have
and
to go to
take
bed.
out trash later.
Wait, is this the question or no?
Yeah, that was just wise cope. Now go ahead and ask the question.
I asked it 8 times. Were you not listening?
You asked it once. Do you know how to count? This is like basic arithmetic, you fucking
I
idiot.
asked it. I asked it many times.
Wait, what's the relevance in you asking it many times? Just say it again.
Just go ahead and ask the question.
Okay, just say that you weren't paying attention.
I said I wasn't paying attention, idiot. You know how to track?
Okay,
I already said
great.
that.
Great. Concession number 2.
Something a low tier would do.
That's
Wait,
not
wait,
a
Jim,
concession.
wait,
I
is it
said
the
I
case-
wasn't
is it
paying
the
attention to you.
Is it the
I
case?
said I
Is
wasn't
it
paying.
Is it the case? Yes or no? That your initial statement, you did not say it's probably the case that if you do not answer, that's because you're afraid to debate me or you're a little bitch or something. Did you use the word probably
Wait,
there?
I gave one example of what a dodge might be.
Now who's the one that's fucking
Didn't
stuttering?
even
Did
stutter.
you say
I
You
probably?
actually
didn't
said
even stutter.
in my
You did.
semantics,
You think I
this
stutter?
is what the
He's
word
lost.
dodge
He is
means.
so lost. He is
You
so
did-
lost.
you did
Look,
stutter.
to say
You did
something is the
stutter.
case isn't to say that it is.
I'm sorry. The
Okay,
question
so what's
again.
your-
Look, I'm going to ask the
so
question
you
again
just
for the
lost-
10th time. I'm going to ask the question again for the 10th
Turn us
time.
out of
I'm
you.
going to ask the question again. I'm
Turn
going to
us
ask
out
the
of you.
question again. I'm going to ask the question again. I'm going to ask the
I
question
heard your
again.
question, low tier.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
so
What was the
you
question?
can't be
that I
quiet,
asked?
so you
What was
can't
the
be quiet.
question? What was the question? What was the question?
Yeah, so I'm answering your question, and by my
was
answer,
the question?
you will know if I heard the question. Now,
What was the
I'm
question?
going to answer the question, idiot. I don't need to repeat your question for your own fucking well-being, okay? I'm going to go ahead and answer the question.
I'm going to take that.
That
If
would
you
be more
don't
linear.
Repeat the question. If you don't repeat the
The
question,
question,
you're dodging
yes.
because you're the little bitch.
Give me while I'm
Now
trying
repeat
to
the
tell you what
question.
the question was. So shut the fuck up and
Yeah.
let me tell you what the question was. Your question was, in the beginning of the conversation, did I say it is probably the case that you are dodging? Or did I say that it was probably the case that you are fearful of me? Now, I said that you are dodging. Now, to say that you are dodging isn't to say that you are fearful, but to say that you are fearful of debating me is a probability raising, I guess, concept for dodging.
Actually, that's not what you said at all.
So what did I say,
Like,
Matthew? Go ahead.
You did.
Sure. You said under your semantics, when you say somebody is dodging, this means they do not want to debate you and are scared.
No.
That is what you said.
They
Verbatim.
don't have to be scared in order to dodge. You can dodge without being scared, and I said that earlier in the conversation.
That would be you backtracking and changing your definition.
No, it's not. I said that in the beginning of the
We
conversation.
can roll back the tape if you'd like.
Yeah,
It's
that's
fine.
perfectly
Yeah,
fine.
right here, right now. Go roll back the tape, and I heard him. He said
That's
that.
perfectly fine. I said that to say you're fearful isn't to say that you are dodging, but to say you're dodging is to say you could be fearful.
Yeah, you said
and
that later.
Jim,
yes.
you look really
But you
bad
said
right
So
now.
I
under
did.
my
Wait, so I did
semantics.
say that. Wait, so I did say that
Later.
prior in the conversation.
Later.
Wait, so I did say that prior in the conversation.
No,
Yo,
later
I'm
in the
trying to get to substance,
conversation.
but your mods wouldn't accept an argument for God.
I'm
I
not
tried
even
to
a
get to
mod.
substance.
So
Yeah, I'm not
you said
talking about
under
you,
your
idiots.
semantics,
Why do you think everything's
Okay,
about you? I
Matthew,
was talking
Matthew,
about
stop
Jim.
talking
I
about
asked
it
Jim
like
if he wants
this.
an argument, and
Jim,
Jim
do
said,
you want the
"No,
argument
can
for
we
God?
mute? Can we mute the idiot? Why is he spurging?
Jim, do
Why
you
is
want
he
the argument
spurging?
for God or not?
No, I'm gonna give the argument for God, but just Jim needs to lock the fuck in and
So
stop dodging.
if you're using something like modus
You mute the
ponens and
low
you're
tier,
using an
please.
if
Oh my
and then
God.
statement,
Yo, somebody
right?
mute Matthew.
If dodging, then scared.
I
Right?
didn't make that. I didn't make that claim.
Apparently,
Did I?
if
Did
there
I make
are,
that? No, I didn't make that claim.
yes, you
I don't.
did.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
If
See,
there is
look, just
another
because you can't track the
possibility,
conversation, that doesn't mean I said
then
what
your
you think I said.
argument
You're an
fails,
idiot and you
because
can't
it's
track.
not
So look,
necessarily
you
that.
can't track. Jim
If
can't track.
somebody
The host
is
wants us to
dodging,
get to
then
substance. So
they
how
are
about you let me
fearful.
lay
Fails if
out
it's
a
not
couple
necessarily
premises for you,
true.
and these premises
So
are
your
going to lead to the
argument
conclusion.
fails,
Okay, so he
correct?
can't shut up. So the argument I'm going to give right
So your
now is going
argument
to lead in the
fails,
conclusion.
correct?
Okay, so the conclusion of the argument I'm giving right now is going to be God
So your
necessarily
argument
exists.
that he was
No,
scared
I didn't make that
fails,
argument. I didn't make
correct?
that argument. I didn't make that
You
argument.
made it in the form of an argument.
No, I didn't. Look, what I said,
Modus ponens is not an inference rule. That's
Yo,
I
is
said
this
if
dumbass,
he
like,
is
still
dodging, then
talking?
he might be scared. You idiot.
No, you said he would be scared.
He never said that.
If
I didn't.
then,
I didn't make an absolute claim. Look, you're an
after
idiot.
he
You can't
schooled
track.
your
I'm gonna
ass,
get back to giving
you
back shots to
started
Jim.
rolling it back,
Look, Matthew.
which is
I've done
kind of
enough. I've
fucking
done enough. I've done enough.
hilarious.
Look, I'm gonna stop embarrassing you. Yeah, because you keep talking. So I'm repeating my sentence so you can hear me once you shut up. So like when you're talking, I'm gonna continue, and then I'm gonna repeat my sentence because you're not listening, right?
So
And I
you
want you to
stated
hear
that
my
under
sentence.
your semantics,
Even though you don't
the term
want me
dodging
to hear
means
your sentences,
somebody
because you know that your
does not
sentences
want
are
to have
fucking
an
stupid. But
argument
I want you to
and
hear
is
my
scared.
sentences because if you
Your
can hear my
inability
sentences,
to
you
hold
can
a
respond. But
coherent
what's
position
funny
on your
here
own
is that
definition
your sentences
is
make
not
no
really
sense
my
to you. Just so
problem.
want me to hear
Okay,
them.
look.
That's
But
why.
it is an issue
Okay,
that you're
okay,
having.
calm down. Okay, calm down. I don't know why we're dropping logic. Look, we can let logic back up. He can give the argument for God. and then Jim can reply back to the argument. I don't know, like, what's so hard about that? Just let logic back up and you can give the argument. That's fine.
Well, I can, sure, but
Okay, yeah, okay, let him back up and then he'll give the argument and you'll respond to the argument with no rhetoric, and that's fine.
why ought I do that?
Just go ahead and
CH,
logic, give
can
the
we get
argument.
can we get a rec? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
so
recording this. This is really
I'm gonna
bad.
give you.
Wait. I'm sorry. Why ought I reply back to the argument?
Oh, he's just
Nobody
running.
said you
Nobody
ought
said
reply,
that.
but the host wants us to get to substance. So presumably you'd want to follow the host's wishes.
Why would you presume that?
Well, it's just an inference.
What's the argument for that?
I'm trying to tell you why I'm making that assumption, so you need to stop muting me so I can respond. So all I'm saying is that you are okay. So I can't respond. I was in the middle of responding. Great. So what I was saying is that the host is saying that she wants us to get to substance.
She did.
Are you gonna keep? Are you just gonna keep interrupting me? This is just the wisest dodge. Like dodge. Look, when you're speaking over me, it means that you don't.
I haven't heard the host speak once, so why are you saying that?
Yeah, do you not know how to read the comments? Host, do you or do you not want us to get to substance? Just, you can go ahead and answer that question if you'd like, host.
Maybe, I don't know. It's not my life.
I'm asking the host. I said host. Are you the host, Jim?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so maybe she'll type in the comments, because, previously she did say, let's get to substance. Actually, I'll just find it in the comments, and I'll screenshot it, and I'll put it on my green screen real quick. If you really don't believe that the host wants us to get to substance in her live, like, I don't know why you wouldn't even.
Holy fucking snooze fest! Just give an argument.
Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out premises that lead to the conclusion God necessarily exists, and you're going to respond, or are you not going to respond? I need to make sure he's going to contend with the argument, otherwise this shit is pointless.
Well, I'm going to respond. What's the argument I'm going to respond?
I asked if you're going to respond. See, this guy's such an idiot. He can't even listen. All I'm saying is, are you going to respond?
No, you didn't say, are you going to respond?
I said you're going to respond.
You said, you said, I'm going to give an argument and you're going to respond.
Or no, I said you're going to respond.
As if though you're giving a command.
I said you're going to respond yes or no. That means I'm asking you, are you going to respond? Do you not know how basic English language works? Look, I'm going to give an argument to anyone on panel who wants to actually contend with my argument, even though Jim doesn't. So the argument is just going to be.
That's a better question. That's a better question.
That wasn't a question. That was a statement. You don't know about questions and statements because that was a statement. There was no question mark at the end of that.
And I'll take that as a concession on the first statement that if I don't want to answer, it's because I am scared or I'm dodging you.
Nobody said that. Nobody made that claim. See, you're lost. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the claim. Okay, just calm down. Just calm down.
Did you not make the claim?
Just calm down. Just calm down.
Did you not make the claim? Did you not
No,
make
I
the claim
didn't.
prior? Did you not make the claim prior? You did it? That's a lie number 2.
We talked about this. I didn't make the claim.
Initially, you made the claim when
Oh,
you get
why
up
does this
here
guy
that
have
you're
mod?
gonna
This
give-
guy's.
Yeah, initially you made the claim. I don't know why you're over talking. Right? Initially you made the claim.
You just
that
mute me.
You're going
What
to
do
give
you
an
mean?
argument. Yeah, great. Initially you made the claim that you're going to give an argument, and I'm gonna respond to it. And I said, what's the argument I need to respond to it? And you said, well, if you don't respond to it, that's because that means that you're dodging.
That's because
Yeah. You need this?
Okay, great. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you a couple premises. Okay, nice mute. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you a
very
couple premises
substantive, is
leading
he?
to the conclusion. Premise 1 is just gonna be, if MEA is logically possible, then there exists at least one possible world in which a being possesses exhaustive and infallible knowledge. Premise 2 is gonna be that there's no contradiction in the concept of MEA knowledge that quantifies over all true propositions without entailment of contradiction. First conclusion is just going to be that MEA is instantiated in at least one logically possible world, W. And then P3 is going to be in any world W where MEA is instantiated, the epistemic subject, or S, knows all true propositions of W and all modal truths concerning worlds accessible from W. And then from there, premise 4 is just going to be knowledge of all modal truths entails knowledge of all possible truth values of all propositions in all worlds. Conclusion 2 is going to be that S's epistemic domain is maximally extended across all worlds. P5 is going to be if an epistemic domain extends across all worlds, the subject possessing it is necessarily existent. P6 is just going to be, therefore S necessarily exists. P7 is going to be necessarily existent. Epistemic maximality entails omniscience. P8 is going to be a necessarily existent omniscient being is by definition God. Therefore God necessarily exists. Go ahead and tell me which premise you reject. Are we stun locked? Well, I was trying to say it fast enough so the idiot wouldn't
How often do you
interrupt
think
me.
they practice this in the mirror so that they don't get interrupted? Do you
Yeah,
think
I was.
they're?
That
Do you
was
think they're?
also that I
Yeah, I'm still
didn't get
speaking. Do you
interrupted.
think they're
Yet
so
nobody
scared
cares
about
about
having
you.
somebody interact with their premises that they need to like spit it out as fast as possible? Right? It's almost like they're afraid that somebody
Yeah.
actually would have a
Okay.
problem with a premise because they want to hide it somewhere in the middle.
No, I just didn't want to get interrupted. That's why
Kind
I
of
was speaking
interesting.
fast. Now
So
I'll go ahead and
how about
repeat
you
the
go through them
argument for
one
the slow
on
boy.
one,
Yeah. Of course.
one at a
Yeah,
time,
of
and then
course.
see if people actually accept your premises.
I'll even be more charitable, and
Maybe justify them.
I'll give you an easier argument. I'll even be more charitable. So premise one's just going to be: if there is no logical contradiction in God existing, then God exists in some existentially logically possible world. Are we granting that, or do we have a contention with premise one? Okay, great. So premise. Yes, Matthew.
I said obviously.
Okay, well, you said let's go premise by premise, so I don't need your shitty
Yes.
rhetoric. Okay, great. So premise two is
It
going to be
wasn't
that.
rhetoric.
Okay,
That was
okay,
me
just
agreeing
be
with the
quiet. Just be
premise.
quiet so I can continue.
Is
Okay.
agreeing with your premise rhetoric? That's weird.
What? You were like obviously, like you
Oh
don't
my
sound
god,
rhetorical.
please fucking stop. Jesus.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So premise two is there's no logical contradiction in God existing. Are we good there? Okay, so the argument for that would just be premise one: if there is a contradiction in God existing, then there would be two mutually exclusive propositions. There are no mutually exclusive propositions, therefore there's no logical contradiction. Which premise you reject? Yeah, that's fine. So I guess motivation for P2, what I could do is I could just take the contrary as a postulate, and then from there, what I could do is I could use like a Hitchens razor example, or even an Occam's razor or an Osium inference, and then I think someone's probably recording for me, unless you guys. Okay, that's fine. I mean, this isn't even a feat. It doesn't really matter. Um, so I can just motivate P2 by saying that what's it called? We could just take the contrary as a postulate and then use a Hitchens razor example or make an Osium inference. And so that's the motivation for P2. What? Look, I'm not. What I'm saying is, I have no reason to accept that there's a contradiction if there's seemingly no contradiction. And look, what that means is that that's like asking me to prove to you that there's like not a unicorn in Agartha. Like, how the fuck do you want me to do that? Like, wait, no, I didn't resort to seemings. That's not true. No, I didn't resort to my seemings. That wasn't the argument I gave, or at least the motivation for P2. The, look, I lowered the probability of a contradiction being present. Now the probability would be zero. So if you can raise the probability or give me a contradiction, then, that's grounds to reject the premise. But otherwise, I lowered the probability already. Well, I would need the argument for the not P. Like, okay, what's the argument for infinitism? Wait, how are you justifying that? Like, what's your theory of justification? Because that doesn't seem very like all you're saying is the same thing you just got mad at me about, saying like, okay, look, it seems like there's no reason as to why this wouldn't be the case, so therefore it is. And I don't know why I should accept that. So I guess what I'm asking is, how are you justifying that? I don't. Well, what's the argument for that? Like, look, just because we can only pick out times where t has a t minus one, that doesn't mean in all cases at t there is a t minus one. Rather that. No, I just need you to respond to the objection I just gave. Wait, that's a blunder. That's a blunder. You no, because what you said is for every time t. I didn't say for every time x. You said for every time t, which would mean for each instance of t, we have t minus one, and I need the argument for that. Okay, so since he's coming back in 5 minutes, does anyone else have an objection to the argument currently? Because otherwise, I can probably get.
In his objection, you can just provide a nomological universe is possible.
No, I gave my objection to his argument, and then he said, "I have to go. Give me 5 minutes."
That would be like life coming into here. Yeah, it happens. In support
Yeah,
of what he was discussing, it would be very easy to show that it is nomologically possible for an infinite universe to exist.
yeah, it's possible, but just because X is
Beautiful.
possible
So
doesn't
if
mean X
it
is
is
true in all
possible-
worlds. It doesn't mean it's true in all worlds.
Yes. But your issue here is you're holding to a creator being a necessary component being required in all possible worlds. If there is a possible world where a creator is not necessary because it is an infinite universe, thus the possible world semantics
Wait,
here, then you do
so
not have
confused.
a necessary creator.
That's like arguably the most confused statement I ever heard. You just said
Okay,
if
so
there's
a
a
creator
necessary
being
No, wait,
necessary.
hold on. Just so we're
No,
clear,
I'm not going to
say
hold on.
no,
A
you said
creator being
just calm
necessary
down, just calm down,
requires a
just calm down.
creator in all possible worlds. I'm just going to repeat myself, so I
Yeah,
hope you can understand
and
it
then
this time.
you said
Then to
and then
say
you
that
said
it is nomologically possible to have a world that is infinite, that would mean it's also logically possible to have a world that is infinite, then the creator is no longer necessary.
well, I
because
don't. No, I
it's
think
not needed in
there
the
is a
infinite
logical contradiction.
universe.
There is a logical
Because an
contradiction.
infinite universe would not have a creator, correct?
No, there is a logical contradiction in infinitism being true. Just so we're clear.
It's nomologically possible. We have many models showing this to be the case.
Yeah, nomological.
That's the reason I brought nomological
Nomological
possibility in.
possibility doesn't mean that it's possible with respect to other modes, and also.
Okay, so if it's nomologically possible,
Matthew,
that would mean it's
I have a
also
question.
logically possible, correct?
Wait, Matthew, I have a question. Why would an infinitous universe preclude the possibility of theism?
Zach's argument prior said that if you have a creator and then you have contradictory position like not creator, then obviously you hold a contradiction to that position. An infinite universe is one that has. I'm answering your question. I'm answering your question. You need to hear the answer before you interrupt. Having an infinite universe is a universe that has no beginning. An infinite universe would have no creator because to be created is to have a beginning. That would just be a contradiction again. So if you have an infinite universe, then you have a universe that is not created. If you have a possible universe that is not created, then you have a possible universe that has no creator. If you have a possible universe that has no creator, then you cannot call a creator a necessary.
No, this guy's just yapping. Why is she yapping?
Possible.
Why is she still
within
talking?
one of these universes?
Yo,
correct?
Can she stop talking?
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
so now I'm not going to stop talking because you want to use like ad hom bullshit, right? So
wait, what was the ad hominem Lotier?
Oh my god.
Yeah, you calling she on purpose, intentionally.
Wait, you think that calling someone she is an ad hom?
Because what you were doing is you're using a personal attack.
Wait, you think calling someone? Wait! You think referring to someone as she is discrediting their argument? You think referring to someone as she is?
Yes, I am thinking that's your.
Piece of shit.
I think that is your intention.
He's literally
currently.
sexist.
Okay, call me whatever you want. I don't get too far.
He said calling
But
someone a
me
she is
doing this
discrediting
is
the
going to
argument.
stop
That's
you
insane.
from making your argument, right? It's
There's
going to
no way
stop
you
you
just
from
said
speaking,
that.
correct? Isn't that
No,
hilarious?
that's actually insane.
So
This
just
guy's so
like Zach
stupid.
said,
Holy shit.
if you have a position where no creator is required for that universe to exist, then you cannot have creator being a necessary across all possible universes.
Yeah, but there
Wait.
All
is
possible
a
world
nomological
semantics
impossibility.
fails. It is not a
Okay,
nomological
wait, hold
impossibility.
on,
We
hold
have
on.
physics papers that shows it is
Guys.
nomologically possible.
Hold on,
You can
hold
look into
on,
Penrose's
guys.
CCC model. You can
No,
look
there's a
into
logical
many different.
contradiction.
No, there isn't.
Oh,
Yeah, I can
wait.
give you the P and
All right.
Yeah, that would fail given the models because those models do not hold logical contradictions.
Wait, what? All a model is
Penrose's
saying is that we
CCC
have.
model does not hold a
Wait,
logical contradiction within it.
Wait. All we're saying when we're talking about models is just the
A possible world semantic? Congratulations. I'm glad
possible
you
worlds with
understand
respect to an
that.
action in a different way.
I'm glad you understand that. So therefore, if you have a
Yeah,
possible
with
world
respect.
with that,
Yes,
without the
and then
need
it
of
also
creator,
it
then you
also
can't
goes a step
call
further.
creator
Wait, hold on.
a
It also goes
necessary
a
in all
step further.
possible
Hold on.
worlds.
Just hold on. Just calm. Just calm down. It also goes a step further
I'll
by
try
talking about the
repeating it
accessibility
again.
relations
If you
of
have
the
a
possible worlds.
possible
Okay, so the
world
idiot
that
isn't
does
going to stop
not
with me.
have a
Okay.
creator, then a creator is not necessary in all possible worlds.
Yeah, but it is necessary, and that's what my argument's trying
You
to show.
haven't justified that yet. I have justified
Yeah,
my position by
because I haven't
bringing up
finished
physics
the
models.
You haven't justified any. No.
with
You haven't justified
infinite.
anything. I asked for the
Yes, I
argument
have.
that there's all. No, I asked for the argument that for each instance
Physics
of t, there's a t minus
models.
one.
Physics
That doesn't answer
models
the question. Okay,
justify
physics
the
models. Yeah,
position
that's great.
that
Physics
is
models justify
nomologically
God.
possible
Like what?
to have a universe that is infinite.
What?
Do
Yeah,
you
what's the
disagree,
argument
or
for that?
do you disagree? Yeah, what's
I don't
the
have
what's
to
the problem?
disagree. I
What
just
about these
for the
models shows that
argument.
they are not possible?
When you say models, you're just referring to worlds with accessibility relations, correct?
Are you asking whether or not there is a possible world
No,
where a creator is not
some fuck.
necessary?
Oh my god!
Because
I
that's
think
what
there's
the
some
topic
fucking
is.
equivocation. I think you're equivocating when you say model. I don't know what the fuck you mean by that.
Yeah, I'm talking a physics model. You know what a physics model is?
I'm asking what you mean by model.
I'm talking
Because
about
if you're talking
physics
about
models when I
if you're talking about physics models with respect to
models.
possible world semantics, holy fuck, this guy's so stupid. He can't even explain to me
Do
what the
we or
words he's
do we
using
not
means.
live in a possible world where
Wait,
an
that's your
infinite
definition
regress
for
is
model?
possible?
That's your definition for model?
No, that was a
That's a fucking
question.
terrible
Questions
definition.
aren't
Okay, so go ahead and give your
definitions.
definition. I asked you a question and now you're dodging. Give me the
I said I'm
definition
just
for what you mean by
referencing
model.
physics models. These would be papers in physics.
I'm not asking what you're referencing. I'm asking what it means. Okay, so when you say physics models, you're just referring to physics papers?
I am referring to the models discussed within these physics papers. This is
Yes,
a
and by
reference.
models, what do you mean? That's equivocation.
What is being equivocated here?
The equivocation is that when I ask you what models means, you're just giving me examples and other things in which might demonstrate what
Not
a
what
model
an
is.
equivocation
I'm asking
is. Can
for
you
your
define what
definition.
an equivocation is?
Yeah, equivocation is just to use ambiguous language to obfuscate from the point. That's what you're
It's
doing.
not an equivocation.
Now, what? You think my
Not what
definition
an
is wrong or what?
equivocation is. Yeah, I do not accept your
Okay,
definition.
what are you
Matthews.
taking
And I'm not
equivocation to
using
be?
ambiguous
What are you
language at
taking
all.
equivocation to be?
Technically, Matthew's right there.
So what
In
are
the
you taking?
categories,
What are you taking equivocation to be then?
in the
Okay, so this
categories,
is kind of
things are
just
said to
dumb
be
rhetoric. Do
equivocal if
you
they
or
have
do
the
you
same
not
meaning.
accept
That
physics?
wasn't rhetoric.
Do
I was
you
asking
or
what
do
you mean by
you not
equivocation.
accept physics models contain possible worlds
Okay, so
where
that
an
wasn't a
infinite
definition.
regress
That wasn't a
exists?
definition. Wait, that wasn't a definition for model or equivocation, which is the two
No,
questions
I'm
I asked you.
asking a question.
Yeah, I've asked you two questions and you haven't
Do you
answered
or
either
do
of
you
them.
not accept that position?
Look, you're dodging. Saying I don't know what your words mean, so I'm asking you to explain them, and you're not doing that. Like, are you incapable of explaining what these words mean?
Model would be an explanation including mathematical representation showing whether or not something is possible in a nomological sense.
Okay, yeah, I think that to say
Okay.
there's a contradiction and there not being a creator would be true.
Yeah, where's the contradiction?
Well, I guess the P would be, well, okay.
The P is that you insist there's a creator and there doesn't have to be one?
Well,
Is that where the contradiction is?
Well, no, the contradiction
Kinda
would be
nonsensical, right?
The contradiction would be P. There's a creator, not P. There's not a creator.
Would this
What?
physics
Like,
model that
that's not what we're talking
shows the
about.
possibility in nomological modality show that it is possible to have an infinite regress within a universe?
Well,
That
I think
doesn't
it could be
preclude theism,
possible,
by
but
the
we could
way.
still just run like an Occam's
It's just
razor
dumb to
case or
think that
something.
precludes theism.
Yeah, there would still be like an Occam's razor case. Like we
Well,
could
then
still
you
choose Occam's
fail
razor.
with the semantics of necessary. When you say a creator is
No.
necessary, but you hold to a possible world semantics where it is possible for infinite regression, then you fail when you try to make it a necessary
No, that's
position.
No,
not
because
true
to say
again.
something else is possible isn't to say something else is the case.
My God.
That's what's happening when
Dude,
you're using possible world
Matthew,
semantics.
Matthew.
Possible world
Infinite
semantics means a
temporal
creator
regression
would
does
be
not negate
required in
theism.
all possible worlds, yet a creator is not
This is
required
insanity.
in a possible world that has an infinite regressive time.
Okay, I'm gonna let you talk because you're like confused. Yeah, this is really bad.
I'm not confused at all.
The theists can hold to an infinite regression of time. There's no contradiction, man. Like I
No,
can be a
that's not
deist
what I
and-
said is a contradiction. I didn't say that's a contradiction. I said the contradiction
Okay.
holds in his argument prior, where he's saying that a creator is necessary in all possible worlds. A creator of the universe entails that the universe has a beginning at the point of creation.
Necessary
To
is just
say,
saying in all
to
possible
say that
worlds.
there's a
Like,
possible world
Wait,
where a creation
Matthew.
doesn't exist is to say that that creation is not necessary.
saying
Yeah,
necessary
okay, yes,
and then
but
saying in
wait.
all possible worlds is just saying in all possible worlds in all possible worlds. It
Dude,
sounds stupid.
logic. Chill for a second. I think we can get us to a medium because I think Matthew's supposing creation has to take the sense of like some sort of temporality, but God
No,
can
not even
sustain.
temporary, just the beginning of the existence of the universe.
Like maybe you can like argue under a Christian hypothesis, yes, because the Bible's explicit on that.
So
But
yeah,
theism
just so you know,
simpliciter.
before you go further, because you and I are going to agree on everything you're saying, right? Just so you are aware, what I was doing was I was running off of Zach was saying, where he said if you hold a position where you have both a creator and not creator, there is a contradiction agreed upon. And then he says in a possible world where you do not have creation and you have infinite regression, then you have a possible world with no creator. And that was agreed upon.
Okay,
So
sure.
I am
If it
showing
was
that if it's
stipulated,
nomologically possible that you have a universe that has no signs of creation as it has existed infinitely and has not begun, then that is enough evidence to show a possible universe without a creator.
well, okay. So this is
It's just following the
this
argument
is
that was
why.
being had.
Yeah. So this is why it was important that we discussed it because I think that you can hold to, and at least I hold to, a non-temporal creation. Though I am committed as a Christian to holding to a beginning in time, I can be a bare theist, so just bare theism, and not hold to a beginning in time, and instead hold to like infinitely recursive universes still logically require the existence of God because they are ontologically dependent on God in like a structural sense, not a like a linear temporal sense. So it'd be like there is no universe.
That wasn't the argument being held. Though. Yeah, I agree with you on this part.
Okay.
And that's fine.
Cool.
That's
Well,
just
I
wasn't the
guess-
argument being had. The argument being had is if a possible universe exists, is infinite, that possible universe doesn't require a creator, then the possible universe that is infinite does exist, because we have models that show the non-logical possibility of this being the case. Therefore, the contradiction is there when you say it is necessary that you have a creator, but we find out it is not necessary that you have a creator in the position of having an infinite regress.
I think maybe we're saying different things by necessary because maybe what you mean by necessary, at least by the
possible world
context,
semantics.
is okay. Well, then no.
That it would be
I would say
that if something's necessary to exist in all possible worlds.
well, okay. Maybe this is important to cash out. Do you think that like gnomic possibility is like a sort of subset of metaphysical possibility? Like, is there something?
I think nomological possibility is going to be distinct from like nomological possibility and metaphysical possibility. I think those are
like,
distinct, but I think
they
if
can be
something
distinct,
is
but if something is
nomologically possible,
metaphysically
it is
impossible,
logically possible.
yeah, but if it's like metaphysically possible, I mean not metaphysically possible, metaphysically impossible, then which you would hold to it being gnomically possible, right?
I'd have to dig further into that one.
I mean, sorry,
But what
gnomically impossible. Gnomically impossible. If some x is metaphysically impossible, then it would be gnomically impossible, right? So
I would
Basically,
probably
I'm
hold
just
to that
saying.
just the same way I would
Okay.
hold to
Okay.
something if it's nomologically impossible, it would also be logically impossible.
Okay. Cool. So then, okay. So then it would, if you're going to say that there exists some universe that, in virtue of its infinite recur or its infinite regression, stipulates the negation of a creator, but you'll accept um, that it is not necessarily the case that a universe with an infinite regression does not have a creator. I don't see how that is a defeater for the
Well,
theistic.
real
The
quick,
distinction of creator for me is to bring into existence. To bring something into an existence is a starting point of that thing.
real quick,
Well, I
I just
think
want to, just real quick,
okay.
maybe I'm confused, but I guess if we're saying that both of these things could be possible, which I'm not affirming, maybe it's true, but if we're saying they're both possible, couldn't we just take like an Occam's razor example and then see that whichever, gives a more simple or more intelligible response is true?
That
Like,
wouldn't
what?
work in possible world semantics.
Wait,
Oh, wait,
how
yeah,
would
that's true.
wait? I'm
That's true.
actually curious. I'm actually curious. How would you apply Occam's razor to determining um, which explanation of this infinite regression that we're talking about is best fitting the data?
Well,
Wouldn't
I was just asking
wouldn't
if you
appealing
could.
to Occam's razor just defeat the theistic hypothesis then, assuming equal weight?
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be assuming equal weight, rather that two would be possible, and then you'd be committed to saying that it's no longer necessary.
What? Wait, I'm confused. I might. I don't. I didn't track what you just
Yeah,
said.
so what I'm saying is if I were to say that it's possible God exists and then it's possible that God doesn't exist, then that would just be saying with respect to basically any theory of possible world semantics, God wouldn't be necessary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only, I'm not fighting against it. Is it possible that a God exists? I was saying it's logically possible that a God exists. The argumentation here is that defining that God as a necessary being across all possible worlds, that is the argumentation I'm pushing. And yeah, Occam's razor is not going to get you to a necessary. Occam's razor is just going to help you choose between two possibles.
I think. Well, I'm not going to make a positive argument for theism because I told myself I would never do that again. But I do think that certain metaphysical principles, like the principle of sufficient reason and stuff, can get you to at least like bare theism or something along those lines with a necessary being. So
I
I
have a
think
quick
if,
question.
in that sense, if we accept the principle of sufficient reason, then what I was like inching at is no matter if it is the case or it is not the case that we have models that define an infinite regression in the gnomic possibility space, they would still require that necessary being as stipulated by the metaphysical possibility space, which is kind of no, like Leibniz's sense. I'm not aware of
Well,
a modal sense of
also,
theism.
just so
Even
we're
then, I
clear, Wright and Matthew, well, Matthew said he's not disputing God's possibility, and then Wright said he is. I think that's how we got to this conversation, was because Wright said, well, there is a contradiction. And so maybe
oh, no,
there's.
not God's implicator. I'm
I,
discussing the position of a necessary of God being defined as a necessary creator. Because if he's necessarily a creator, but there's possible world semantics that don't have a creator, and a necessary creator falls through because it's not
Well,
required in all possible worlds.
I haven't even said that God necessarily exists. Like, that hasn't, at least not yet. No, no, like, I haven't made
That's
that claim.
the linchpin to the argument, isn't it?
Well,
It's necessary, therefore God exists.
that's the conclusion, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Is it bad for me to understand your argumentation and remember your conclusion and to show that that conclusion does not fall from the premises being put forth?
I haven't given you all the premise. We're only on premise two.
I do have a
I
question.
understand that. My question was, is it a bad thing that I remember your conclusion and I am capable of showing that your conclusion doesn't follow from your premises?
This is a completely different argument from the argument I gave originally, because you guys didn't respond to that. So I was like, I'll just give a different argument.
Yeah, no, it's what
But you
happened
guys were
was
like,
you
you guys said like
shotgunned
you're
your
talking.
premises,
You guys said like you're
and then
talking
you
too
were asked to
fast, or
give the
whatever
same
it is.
premises.
I was just talking about if MEA is logic. Like it's a similar argument, but it's not the same thing. And I look, if I was speaking too fast originally, I apologize, but my friend just Jim here was kind of spam muting me, so I was trying to get that that argument through. Okay.
I did have a question. If I don't want to interrupt like with conversation, but I was kind of curious. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So, we all know about the story of Adam and Eve, and I was thinking about it recently, and I thought if any of us went back in the time and we were at that garden, I think that any one of us would tell Eve to eat that apple. The reason why I say that is because if she didn't eat the apple, none of us would be here.
True. Oh my. Wait. This is.
Right.
No. This is.
So if
No.
none
No,
of us
dude.
would,
Dude.
He
Right,
just
dude, what are you
dropped some
talking
crazy
about,
shit
dude?
on us, bro. Think
right,
about it.
because
This
if
is
none of us,
this is deep shit,
because
dude.
if she didn't eat the apple, we would all they would still be in the garden. There would be
Swing
no
and crack.
there would be
That ball
there would be
flies off into
no
left field.
Think
there would
about
be
that
no
shit.
There to
Very
catch
close.
it.
there would be no death.
But it's so much fun. It's so much fun, isn't it? It's definitely lucrative. You have to admit it's lucrative.
He was spitting. Why did we drop him?
Not sure if I was kicked from the conversation. Yeah, so I was just curious to see, like, because when I think about it, if they didn't eat the apple or the fruit, we wouldn't be here. So it was part of the plan, if that is the plan. If that wasn't the case, then we're all a mistake, and I don't believe we're a mistake. So if I went back in time, I believe all of us would tell Eve, eat that fruit, and we would eat it with her. And whoever it is, but we would tell them to eat the fruit. I would eat the fruit. I think we all would eat the
Hey, do you
fruit.
think it's possible that paradox exists?
What's
think
gonna be the
yes, I do.
argument that we wouldn't
Okay,
be here if
so
she didn't
then it
eat the
wouldn't be
fruit?
it wouldn't be a bad thing if you went into the past and created a paradox because paradoxes
It
can
wouldn't be a
exist.
bad thing.
So then it doesn't matter if you told her to or didn't tell her to because it wouldn't matter if a paradox exists.
Well,
Only thing that would
if you're
matter
talking
is if a
about
paradox is bad and cannot exist, then you couldn't change it to a point where you wouldn't exist to make the paradox exist, right?
all right, if you're talking about it like that, then I guess that would be conflicting each other. That's like
So
saying
if you went back
if
in time, and told her not to eat the apple, and then she didn't eat the apple, so you no longer exist. That means you don't exist to go back in time to tell her not to eat the apple. Therefore, she eats the apple. Correct.
right.
So it doesn't matter
Right.
whichever way. You're just in the part of this paradoxical loop where she did eat the apple instead of half of the paradoxical loop where she didn't eat the apple. So either way, you're in the exact same spot you're in. Even if you went back and told her not to eat the apple, or went back and told her to eat the apple, you still be in the exact same spot in this paradoxical loop you're in. You're just creating a paradox for no fucking reason.
Right, but then your point is just nothing happened then at that point.
Yeah,
Like
you're still where you're at. Doesn't matter which side of the coin you're on. You're still where
right,
you're
but
at.
like in my thought, stuff did happen. Because in the story it talks about them, being pure, not knowing about good and evil, and just everything sounded good in that space. And as soon as they ate the apple, they knew about good and evil. And I thought, what type of parent would ever want that for their child? Because when you have your child, they don't know about good and evil. They don't know about the world. So they're just like a sponge. Like they know nothing at that time. So you try your best to keep them in a safe space. But as a parent, like I thought to myself, why would you ever put a tree that has all the good and evil next to them? You would take that away. Okay, hold on. I'll get to
I
it.
think
So
he's saying
what I'm
God
trying to
didn't
say is
like
that
baby proof
Dude,
Eden,
where did
and
this
no,
guy
what
just
I'm
come
trying to
with
say
those
is
stuck their
that
hand on a
bars?
hot
Oh my
stove.
gosh, that was fucking
what,
bars.
what I'm trying to say is that like as parents we try to keep our babies very safe. Keep them away from the world. We don't want them to know about the good and evil of the world. But it would be a bad parent if we sheltered them from that. So we actually do want them to know about the good and evil of the world. So that story was kind of a reflection on how we are. And like we also give them free will as once like they're out in the world also. Like there's an impulse to want to keep them safe, but we want them to experience the world, no matter how bad or good it is. And then I thought about other experiences where, if you do go back in time, we know a lot about our time, right? If you think about books, right? They were written by hand, which took a lot of time. So they were about, it took about like a year or so to write one book. Like I'm just giving like an example. I might be wrong, okay? So if it took that much time to write a book, only kings own books. And it was such a large like economy, like people had to write them, people had to make them. So there were like there was dependency on this system. Once the printing press came along, I bet a lot of people were very scared because they're thinking, "Oh, we're going to lose our jobs. This is gonna diminish the value of books." And now, right, and now the kings, now anybody could be a king. But at our time, yes, I can buy a book. I can print a book right now if I wanted to. And peasants at that time didn't have that power. So I'm living as a king. So if I went back in time and I saw some people saying, "Oh no, the printing press is going to be built. Let's go destroy it," I will tell them no. You're if you're if it's going to hurt you, it's going to be better in the future. I feel like I'm explaining a little bit wrong, but if you get what I'm saying, it's I
No,
feel like
dude, I got you, bro. I'm with you. Me and you right
right,
now, we're dialed in.
exactly. And I don't know the yeah, and I don't know the answers to it, but like there's there's some truth in there because I'll be honest, I am very much an atheist at times. I would say that, but like I like what religion does for people. It kind of organizes things in our mind. Um, I feel like that's what religion is for. It's to help us understand things that we can't understand. Science is another thing that like I feel like it when we do understand something, it's there, but then the things we don't understand is basically religion. Um, yeah, that was my point. I just wanted I've never actually like talked to anybody else about it. I wanted to hear what other people thought about that point. Oh, great, great.
Profoundly stupid. What the fuck was that?
Okay. Please tell me why is it stupid? Why do you think it's stupid? I want to hear this.
Yeah. First off, you mentioned the transcendentals, but if scientism is true, like you say, how can you have logic or the grounds for intelligibility?
I'm sorry. What you say?
The grounds for intelligibility of the sentences that you're uttering.
Okay, maybe I'm not comprehending you correctly. Like, what are you trying to say that I'm
Exactly,
wrong,
because
or
you
I'm
can't
saying
comprehend it on an atheistic worldview.
if I can't comprehend what I said in an atheist worldview, you're saying, or are you saying that?
Correct.
Okay. What's in? I don't know what's uncomprehendable. Like, what's wrong with what I said exactly?
Dude,
Or are you saying that I'm not understanding?
read Maximus the Confessor. The spermatologoi grounds the intelligibility of being.
Okay. All right. I understand like this space. You guys sound very, very smart. You guys are using very large words, and I'm not gonna try to act like I'm smarter than you. Okay. But can you try your best to simplify whatever you're trying to say to me? Because I'm not really understanding you.
I can't help you if you're on scientism and you don't have intelligibility, morality, transcendentals, logic, maths. I can't help you.
You think that I don't have morality? You think I don't have intelligibility?
I don't think you have any of those things, no.
But hold on. Why do you think that? Why do you think that what I said is stupid? What did I say that was stupid about it?
No, I think digital gnosis is gonna have I don't know, fucking thought to say about it.
Yeah, he's gonna. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, all right. I understand that. Like, I understand that God is a like. I understand that like everybody tries to make God into a tangible thing, but like, do you believe in love? Can you explain to me what love is without just showing me the examples of like what the results of love is? But we
Yeah,
all believe
of
it
course.
exists.
Love is one of the transcendentals. So it's like Saint Basil of Caesarea said, "A or not a." It's a disjunctive syllogism, and when we're operating at the
Thank you
paradigm
for
level,
repeating whatever you read. Thank you for repeating that. Can you say in your own words? In your own words, do you believe in love?
that's a category error. You're making a category error.
I don't know if that means that you believe that love exists. That's all I'm asking you, sir. Please, just answer that.
Are you like LARPing it as a dumb fuck and then over time this is gonna turn into you actually know some philosophical shit, or is this just gonna be you asking a bunch of stupid questions the whole time?
Is your husband here to talk for you?
Wow.
I can't tell if that really is.
Wow. Okay, all right. I understand that like I thought you guys were having a conversation.
Okay.
I thought Nathan was a good-hearted, you know.
Wait, that guy was not trolling this entire time? Bro,
Maybe.
I swear I thought he was trolling, bro. Like, this guy literally, like, literally he just said that he's an atheist at times. Bro, who says that? Genuinely.
Is that Clark?
Who? Which guy?
That's Clark's name on Discord. That's all I know.
I don't.
I just know that's Clark's name on Discord.
Digital, Joshua, who's next?
Let's get this casing guy to give an argument, huh? It's this Kakan guy.
Yeah, hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Kakan. What I want from you is an argument with a set of premises that follows to a conclusion, buddy. Right? Go ahead, Kakan.
No, those don't
Buddy just said
exist.
he's asking for a valid argument in the Big 26. Let's get real.
I mean, who cares about validity?
You really just asking for a valid argument there, Seb, or